Welcome back to Bazooka Hoopz. Today we got the big shoe review for you. This is a good one, the Wow 10 Low Valentine's Day.
Type of hooper I am. I work out of the triple threat very often, hard cuts, side to side movements. I rely on my tractions, step backs, fadeaways, hard drives.
Here we have the Valentine's Day colorway for the Wow 10s, the Way of Wade. This is Dwayne Wade's 10th signature shoe. Although he is not in the NBA playing anymore, he is still creating producers with the shoe. I remember I had the Jordan Wade 2s back when I was in high school, and those shoes were really fun to play in, and this shoe resembles it quite a bit. This is the Valentine's Day colorway here. This isn't my favorite colorway of the Wow 10 Low. Besides the D Low White Blood, I believe it is, the all white and the all blue colorway, I enjoy those quite a bit. The reason I got these is because I was super impatient. I knew the lows were coming out, and I knew the mid tops were a very good performer. I'm a big fan of the way low tops work, so I had to go with the lows. I was impatient, I pulled the trigger. I think the mids have better colorways, to be honest. There's a lot more colorful colorways. They pop a lot more. For me, the thing on the Valentine's Day colorway is the green and the pink here. They just kind of lack in color. I wish it was brighter. I wish it popped a little more. But it's just a little monotone, just a little flat for me. I swapped the laces on mine. They come with a all 10 lace, but I went with the green. I exaggerated the green a little bit just because I wanted it to pop a little more. Not sure how I like it. Do you like this? Just a few little details they have on here. This Valentine's Day arrow. Big fan of the way it shoots through. I love this bolt. I love how it changes when you switch it around. The colors, it's like a nice oil look to it. Pearlescent, you could say. Then on the flip side, we have the carbon fiber logo. Huge fan of carbon fiber. And here we're gonna start it in the beginning of our segment. My favorite part of this shoe, the traction. This traction here, we basically have a big radial pattern going around the whole entire outsole. Not my favorite setup, but this is a setup I can't complain about. I've played in this shoe here in a few different types of courts, you know, really dusty, super clean, and in between, and it's kind of, you know, all over the place for me. It's not bad at all. But for me, these patterns are super close, super tight. And for me, I feel like sometimes on dusty courts, I have to prevent myself from going side to side super hard because it does kind of slip out and you can feel that dust accumulating. On dust, I felt myself wiping every play just because of the grooves were so tight, just the dust buildup. And my side-to-side movements, I need a nice solid stop, so I had to make sure I had that every play. So I had to wipe every single play on a dusty court, basically. When I'm not doing side-to-side movements though, it feels tacky. It feels like it's got amazing grip and just little side-to-side quick little bursts. Nice, and it grips amazingly, but it's only on the super explosive hard movements where I come to a complete halt to a side stop. That's the only time I catch myself being, you know, just a little uneasy about, you know, the support of this traction, you know, from wiping out a little bit. So not the GOAT traction, not the best traction, but not the worst. I'm a fan of it. Got its pros, it has its cons. So for that, I'm gonna have to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Next, we have the materials and containment, and this shoe here, it's super containing, that's for sure. I love this sidewall here coming up on this shoe. It's a nice flexible rubber material, guides your foot and holds your foot in place very well. And that goes all the way up basically to the toe, onto the other side of the toe. So that side-to-side movement keeps you locked in. The upper all around is thin, upper toe area is thin, sides are gonna be very thin, and just the whole material all around just differs from the front and back. We have the thin material here at the toe. Some of the material gets a little thicker as you make your way up. We have some leather touches here on the laces, and when we make our way to the back, it gets a little bit more meshy and a little bit more thicker. Just wrapped around my foot amazingly. It was just hugging my foot And just the variance in the material, the way my foot is, the way I kind of move, the material is a little thin on the upper for me, but not horribly. And I love the containment. My foot does not feel like it's slipping out of the shoe anywhere. It feels on my foot, locked in. For that, I give these a 9 out of 10. Moving on to the cushion and the bounce / comfort. You know, this shoe all around is a performer. It's great. This cushion, you have the full length boom to the heel all the way to the toe. It's plushy, it's responsive, but it's not too much of it, to be honest. It's a little bit more bouncy than plush, but the plush is missing just a tiny bit for me. I'm a bigger guy, so I like that plushness just a little bit. But when I switch over from my KD13s to these, I was able to feel this boom be a little bit more plush than what I remembered when I tried it on last time. So I feel like the more I wear it and the more I get into the shoe, it gets a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more plush. The Achilles area is super padded, as well as this ankle area. It gets a little thinner as you get to the eye loop. Once you get to this tongue, again, it's padded, it's plush. Not the most plush I felt, but it's super nice. It's very comfy. The bounce on these shoes, I mentioned it earlier, but this cushion has got some good bounce to it. The main player here, the full length carbon fiber of this shoe. This shoe is bouncy. It's covering you in multiple directions, front, forwards, left, right, all in between. It's gonna get you covered. Any way you move, it's gonna snap your foot back in place. It's gonna propel you. You could feel that carbon fiber working. And just for the little lack of cushion here, I had to give these a notch down just a tiny bit, just because, you know, I do catch myself not wearing them as much, especially if I'm looking for something a little bit more plush. So I have to give these an 8.5 out of 10. Sizing and fit for these are super tight on my foot, but in a good way. These feel like they just wrap my foot like Teflon tape. When I put them in, I can feel my sides bulging out a little bit in the midfoot and as well as the forefoot. But this material is super stretchy. It's super nice and conforming. I went true to size on these, size 13. I put move insoles in all my shoes just because I like the way the move insoles are compared to the paper stock ones you get basically on all shoes. Not sponsored yet, but hey, Move, I'm looking for that sponsorship. Hit me up. When you put these on, length and width, these are going to be super tight on your foot. And for me, I have a slightly wide foot, but I'm not complaining about these shoes because I like the way they feel on my foot. There's no room at all, and that's how I like my shoes. Someone with a wider foot might want to go up half size, you know, per se, or a little bit more, but I never go up in half size in my shoes. I always get true to size and just see how they go. And if I don't like them, I may try going up a different size, but I usually shy away from that and just don't hoop in the shoe. I am presenting to you guys, I finally have a scale. We get to weigh the shoes for you in ounces so I can give you a nice breakdown so I don't have to just pick up the Kobe's and pick these up to see which one's lighter. Officially, the first shoe that gets it is the Wild 10s. It's a good shoe to get it because in hand, these are super light. So let's see what they come out to. 15.34. Again, these are size 13, so that will adjust on that weight for you little hoopers. I'm just kidding. Material and the fit. It's basically when you put your foot in the shoe out of the box compared to now, it's pretty much the same. The materials don't break in a ton, maybe a little bit, but they don't stretch out as, you know, much where you could really notice it too much. Just because not a lot of people might not like the snugness on how I like my shoes. And I know this is my personal review, but I could see how it could be a little problem. For me, it's just at that mark where it's nice and right. So I have to give these a 9 out of 10. Clunky and playability in these. On foot, these are super light to me. They don't feel like much on my foot at all. The only thing I can say, the bottom is just a tad heavy due to that full length carbon fiber, and it does play a little stiff. The shoe isn't buttery. There's many shoes that I own that feel buttery on foot. They feel like it's just one straight solid motion. These, you can feel the solid carbon fiber on the bottom. When you're moving side to side, moving front to back, you could feel that a little bit. And I play on my toes quite a bit, so I don't mind it as much, but you could feel it for sure. Some people that play on their back might not enjoy it as much, but to be honest, it's not too much to complain about because I like the feeling of that. I switched over from my KD13s to these, and at first when I played in these, you know, I believe that these were super low to the ground, but when I switched over, these kind of felt a little high up, a little high off the ground compared to my KD13s. I felt a tad unstable. The shoe was just felt like it was rocking a tiny bit, and it was just a different feeling jumping straight from that shoe to this shoe. And just because of that feeling of how stiff this bottom foot is, from court feel and stability from the KD13s to these, but surprisingly, these felt a little bit more unstable, a tiny bit, as well as just a little bit higher off the ground. So for that, I have to give these an 8 out of 10. So that brings us to our total here. This shoe is a great shoe. It is an all-around performer. I don't wear it as much as some of my other shoes. Not because I don't like it. It's just I have to be in a certain mood to wear these shoes. They're very snappy, very responsive. My body has to be in that type of mood as well. So I don't catch myself wearing them as much, but I do enjoy playing in these every time I play in them. I wish the traction was just slightly better on those dusty courts. I've caught myself a few times just trying to be a little bit more cautious on those side-to-side movements on a dusty court because it doesn't feel as locked down as some other shoes that I played in. And it was just slightly high off the ground compared to another shoe that I switched over from. So just a little nitpicking. So the total score I have to give these shoes then is going to be a 43 out of 50.
And the WOW 10s coming in second to third place with the next gens. I think these should be over the next gens, in my opinion. I think these feel better, a little bit more premium. These are all around performers. These will stay true over the years.
Thank you for tuning in to the channel today. That is going to do it for us on the WOW 10 lows, a classic. I can't wait to see what the WOW 11s bring us. I bet they're going to be classics. It's been a while since they came out with this shoe, so I'm sure we'll be expecting it eventually, maybe soon, hopefully. But I hope everyone enjoyed this video today, and if you're thinking about getting the WOW 10 lows as a big boy or just in general, this helped you out, this helped you ease your mind a little bit. But thank you for watching, and until next time, thanks for tuning in.